Today we have the Mars square Pluto aspect, and we're having that this week, and it's causing some rumbles and some frustration and some tension and like some really tightly wound feelings amongst, let's just say, the collective. That means out in our culture and in the world and society. And I want to call your attention to another aspect we're having right now. This aspect is the Sun in Libra, Trine, Uranus in Gemini, and Pluto in Aquarius. Um, so the last like 15 years, we've been in kind of a heavy duty quagmire of a lot more earth and water has been in charge and in the outer planets that kind of guide society to change over periods of time, over decades. That's why each decade has different flavors, and every 20 years is going to feel really different. It has to do with those outer planets. It's said in astrology that the outer planet wins. So when you're having a transit, so for example, with Mars square Pluto, there is an aggressive, uh, short-term but intense aspect. But ultimately, the outer planet Pluto wins because it's here for longer. And these cycles where we have longer transits tend to reshape society and reshape, the patterns in society as opposed to like the patterns in the individual. Um, One of the things that kind of guides me to want to do videos, which I don't always want to do, but I'm feeling guided, is just sort of keeping our eye on the ball of the highest possibility. There's a lowest common denominator energy that we have in our culture that is kind of like an undertow and it just sucks us all down. And you can find it in our movies. If you scan Netflix, it's like 95% violent. It's either emotional, psychological, or physical violence. When, and so we have an earth full of cultures that have violence. When you look on social media, it's violent. The way people address each other in other political groups, the energy that people spew. If you are tuned a little more sensitively, and you would be someone that I probably work with or will be working with at some point, because you're going to be aware of this bombardment and aware of the undertow of that energy, and having to constantly make a choice every single day. Like, where is your energy going to go? Are you going to be fending off this, um, the heaviness of, all the spewing and the reaction? So there are reactions to reality, and then there's the creation of it. And we're moving into a new era. So there's been this undertow. We still have Saturn at 29 Pisces, which is a critical degree, has a lot to do with immigrants, immigration, borders, um, um, people who are suffering greatly. So that is an energy that we are all feeling. Some people are not very sensitive and they're not feeling it. Others of us are feeling it greatly. And on a daily basis, it's like so important to tune yourself to what you can do now, how you can do it, how you can use your energy most effectively. Because chances are you came here as a gift and as a creator, as a creative, as a visionary. And it is hard sometimes to create the vision when you're getting bombarded with all this psychic smog. That's my term for it. So we are closing out the last few months of the 29th degree in this very Piscean, very hopeless, depressive sort of undertow. It's like an ocean of suffering, basically, that we sometimes tune into. And it's really important to take care of yourself. There are some Bach flower essences that can help. One is gorse. Gorse is to be taken when your mindset is that something can't be changed and it's just hopeless, like an external or a thing, a situation. You can take sweet chestnut for suffering, for feelings of inner hopelessness and suffering that you feel. You can take vervain, which calms the sort of agitated nervous system of reactionary energy and just wanting to control how other people think, what they're doing with information, how they're handling their lives. And just it creates more tolerance and a calming in an overactive nervous system. Now, you have that nervous system, it can be argued that it's from trauma, but some of it is because you are wired psychically. And that is a gift. So that is a lot of what I work with clients. And it's really important to tune your instrument, to tune your psychic feelers so that you are um, in a frequency that really works for your soul. And so a lot of the pain you may be feeling has to do with trying to tune other people's instruments, trying to metabolize energy that feels heavy to you, that you can't actually operate from. As we move, so we have a trine, and a trine is this shape. It's a triangle. And it is, trines bring like an automatic flow of positive energy. The sun in Libra is consciousness, awareness. Uranus is in Gemini is brilliant high level information, high intuition that can be used, can be, you get the idea and you start to use it. And Pluto in Aquarius is changing us at this sort of, this deepest level of our being. It's changing us in our, it's almost creating like a different kind of human being. And I did a post earlier where I was saying that one of the reasons why when I do a reading for a person and someone we're talking about then calls or texts the person, it's because they feel me looking at them. And this is the same with you when you are thinking of others, how you think of others, the thought forms you are projecting with emotion into the world hit their target. But think about what it is you are sending, what is getting projected, because yes, it can hit its target and make that target bigger. So you want to always think about how you are literally using your energy. Um, our thoughts are real, they're felt. Who we are is real, it's felt. And it's sort of, if you're kind of walking the higher path, you have to take responsibility for the thoughts behind the background as well as, what gets said. With this trine, and it's going to be for some time that we're going to have not the sun in Libra, but we're going to have Uranus in Gemini connecting with Pluto. And so we're moving into this sphere that's guided by air, which is the realm of ideas, ideas as thought forms. This is why you have a mob mentality. This is why people like create crimes like as a mob, is because they're all driven by it becomes its own entity, its own thought form. And so always be aware, like what thought forms are you participating in and making more real in the world? And I also just wanted to mention. that I realized recently, and I'm okay, I'm saying this. So I have a moon in Pisces and I have Saturn right on my moon, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. That should not be happening. Why is that happening? Saturn constricts, it dries, it's cold, it freezes, it slows, flowing water down into ice in Pisces. Why would joy be accessible when I'm having that transit? It's because Saturn is a crystallizer that helps you in Pisces, it helps you manage your emotions more and more and really take responsibility for them. And that's one of the reasons I'm talking about this is from experience. And also, I don't know if you've had this experience of going different places and feeling the suffering in the world or in that place. That used to be a problem for me in Los Angeles. I would go into an apartment building to look at an apartment, and I would literally be aware of if a crime had been committed there or something bad was going on there. And I would be like, I can't live here. And for many years, I was extremely aware of pockets of suffering that I could not separate from. I just felt them, felt them, felt them, saw them, saw them, saw them. And it was like a form of torture. And I recently realized that that's not happening anymore. And I just got really curious. And the answer that I get is that suffering has always happened in the world. And for some reason, people think it's happening more now than ever. I disagree. It's always been terrible. So human suffering, suffering of animals, suffering on the planet has always been here, always. We've just been less aware of it, possibly. But there's an opportunity right now to really lift our frequency and to begin to have more power in the world as a result. And I feel like that has a lot to do with this outer, these planets trining. It has a lot to do with the work that everyone has been doing, you included, who are watching this, day in, day out, choosing the higher path, day in, day out, choosing to love yourself, day in, day out, um, being able to be more of a force for something that alleviates suffering than someone who causes it. And you're still going to see on the daily people who are not like that. They're not using their energy that way. And maybe it's none of their business what they're doing. Maybe all that is your business is what you are doing and how you can um, pay attention. Like the number one thing is self-care and taking care of your system, your vehicle. And, the Bach flower essences are wonderful. There are many other healing tools that I try to share as often as I can that help you stay in the frequency that really is you. Instead of, there's nothing that feels worse than wearing a costume that doesn't belong to you. So, like, sometimes we try to wear the energy that we're seeing in the world and hope that, we fit in better or something. And no, you need to be exactly who you are. And if you feel like you've been told you're too sensitive, um, it's just about fine-tuning that ability that you have, that psychic ability. And this is something I can help you with if you want to work with me. This is something I teach. It's something I've been through many dark moments and times when the divine was the support for me, not other people. So I just wanted to say that right now there is tremendous opportunity to be in a frequency that feels really wonderful. And that just think of yourself as more supportive of those who are suffering if you can maintain that for yourself. And if there are tools that I can help you with, just reach out to me wherever you're seeing this. I hope to do more videos talking about tools and things that have worked for me. But mostly just sometimes you just need to hear a layout and just start to begin to identify uh, what isn't yours and how to just really come from your own tone. Like everybody's got a tone or a frequency that is theirs. And how can you be more you in this world and less about a reflection of chaos? And then how can that make you, like an instrument for healing for those who are really suffering in the world? That's what I felt called to talk about today. Write me with any, if you want to dialogue about this, I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching.